Hey, good morning, everybody. Just got home from the hospital. Hope you're having a good day. Just getting ready for the market to open. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. I just got home from my night shift. Going to be trading in the morning here a little bit. I've got work again tonight. But as we did see, like I've been calling out for quite some time, Wells Fargo had a huge breakout to the upside, up a little over 5% yesterday, as you can see, on some really good volume, which is typically what I speak about, where you see stock basically breaks through breaks through a resistance where you can see there was multiple days where we came to $34 even over here, but we couldn't quite basically retain that break to the upside because of a huge volume that we saw to the downside. As you can see, the following day, after a break to the upside of 55 million shares, the very next day we see almost 92 million shares to the downside. And of course, that's why we saw a little bit of a shakeout. Basically, what that was a little bit of a shakeout. Even though Wells Fargo posted some pretty decent earnings, there was a little bit of information about, it wasn't the best earnings. They were okay. And of course, we see a nice breakout to the upside on huge volume. Was it 80 million shares to the upside? And so this is basically typically what we're looking for when we're trading stocks that, of course, make money, have decent earnings. Unlike other stocks where you're just basically playing the momentum, the reason that I had gotten into Wells Fargo was basically following the pattern. I know Wells Fargo is going to do well in terms of the future, and of course, I've basically going to be adding a little bit more moving forward. Similarly with ExxonMobil, which I had been talking about as well, I had gotten into both of those. I think those were my part of my 10K between ExxonMobil, JetBlue, Dave and Buster's, and Wells Fargo. Those are basically the four that I was basically going to put 10K in, and as you can see, they're doing quite well. Moving forward, with if you haven't been paying attention in the news or in articles, I had been hearing a little bit about food shortages. Obviously, as a result of supply chain disruptions, we're going to see food prices start to go up for whatever reason because of layoffs. And now you have a lot of people. There was recently, because of the storm out in Texas, that a large amount of food basically had been destroyed as a result of the storm. And as a result, food prices are going to trade higher. There was an article that came out, I believe Tyson, right? TSN, they said that they were going to be increasing the prices or costs of their food by around 30%. And so I'm probably going to be putting more of my money into dividend paying food stocks. Like, for example, Tyson. Tyson is one of them. And I'll be looking to get into Kellogg. And so I guess probably for like the next 2 months, I'm going to try to put in, I would say probably another 10K. And I would say between Kellogg, um, if I was going to get more into Coca-Cola, it would probably be down here into the 40s. I will put in a little bit into Flow, which basically deals um, more with like bakery goods, breads, etc. And of course, this is just more for a stable dividend. It pays 3.5%. But as you can see, looking at chart, for the most part, it basically trades in a little bit of a large channel between 18 and say about 25. And so we're kind of about in the middle of the channel. Pays a decent dividend. I know that the floor isn't going to get pulled out, and it pays, like I said, it pays a fair amount of dividend. The other stock that, of course, that I've been adding to is BGS Food. You can take a look at I believe there is a link. I think there was a link here. Here we go. So you can go to the websites for these foods, and of course, you might recognize some of the brands. Like, for example, Cream of Wheat. Take a look at some of the brands. Right, what was it? Ortega Tacos, etc. Green Giant, Dash. I think I've heard of Ascent. BM I've heard of before. Bear Creek, Cinnamon Toast should be very familiar. What else? What else do we have? There's quite a few of them here. They've got a lot of different They've got a lot of different name brands. Maybe they're a little bit more familiar in other regions of the country than necessarily, here in New York. I think I've heard of Molly McButter before. But in any event, this is basically where because it looks like, I think this was probably around the time that like the Robinhood thing was going on. And unfortunately, I should have sold thinking that we were going to come to a top, especially when you look at the chart, basically very high. But we're basically coming back down. BGS pays a pretty solid dividend, as you can see, about 6%. And so for this particular stock, it could not hold the breakout. The breakout was about $32. And as you can see, it traded below right here. And then we saw a retest right here. So more than likely, this stock will trade to the downside. So I would rather wait to buy it here closer to 26 than obviously buying it here into the 30s. Now it has moved fairly well off of the teens, as you can see right here. It moved off of 14, came all the way up into the 30s, hitting way up here into 48. That's basically one of the other ones that I'll be adding into the near future. And then where was my little sheet? I remember I wrote some of this stuff down. Here we go. I know I left it in my pocket so that I could look at the charts when I was at work. Okay, yes. So those are basically it. It was FLO, TSN, BGS, K. Kellogg looks pretty good. 4%, not too bad. We have seen a little bit of a pullback. So I probably will be adding into Kellogg as well. I believe they said that they were also going to be raising prices as well. And so I want to take advantage of the pullback. I did buy a little bit of Coca-Cola on the pullback when it came down here. I think I added in about another 800 into my portfolio. So I'll have to wait and see. JetBlue, of course, on the breakout. I had spoken of JetBlue. We're going to leave it here with JetBlue. I had spoken about it last time, where JetBlue was basically, again, trading within the channel. And then we see JetBlue basically break out. A little bit of volume, not exactly crazy. It was a 10 mil volume day. The average volume is about 8-9 million. So we did get a little bit more volume. And then, of course, we saw one retest and subsequently two retests. I did buying it here. I bought a little bit more in the M1. I also bought another 50 shares in the Webull, in my Webull account. And so we're more than likely going to see JetBlue. I would like to see if I could buy it if it does retest or come anywhere around 1650 or 1630s. But it looks like we're going to be moving to the upside. In terms of upside potential, I would probably end up selling it at around $21. And so I'm re-long. I had bought it initially down here. I had initially bought it down here at 17 and sold it up here on the pop-up, bought it back, and then again sold it over here. And of course I bought it again when it started to channel at around, I think I'm long at about 1475. I've got about $1,500 into this particular play. I added, I think, another 200 or so, but probably going to add maybe a little bit incrementally, maybe 50 a week or so until I reach my price point, which is basically going to be about, let's say, about $21. If it goes around there, I would be happy taking, it looks like, anywhere around anywhere between 25-30% on the money. I'll basically sell out of the position. That's basically what I'm looking for now. Of course, as you know, I am in Baba getting smacked down today to 266. Wish I had a little bit of liquidity that I could add to it. I would love to actually buy that dip. I had been looking at the chart actually last night, and it looked like there was a lot of weakness. We could see Baba trade a little bit to the downside. I wouldn't mind being able to buy it on the pullback. CRM, I wonder if the market is gapping down. I haven't had the chance to look to see if the futures are showing a pullback. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to wait and see while we're seeing a little bit of a pullback. 1%, not really all that big, but Baba pulling back a little bit. 1.6%, not a lot, but I wouldn't mind being able to add to it around 266, as we had multiple days here where we basically held Alibaba's, where it basically broke above 266s. So we might get a couple of days of retesting. We might see a little bit of a shakeout, might see a little bit of a push to the downside. And I'm happy to buy more of it, as this basically is a little bit more of a long-term play for me between CRM and Alibaba. And that's basically going to be it. I'm going to leave it here. Keep this one under 10 minutes. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a great trading day, and I'll check you out next time. Thanks for watching.